So I think the best part is probably the visibility, because it brought Groovy was already popular, but it obviously brings the Apache brand with it, etc. So it makes the project much more visible, and we gain lots of users. But not only that, but also contributors. So more interest in the project, more contributions. That's really, I think, the best outcome that we envisioned. And on the other hand, we also have to comply to some of the Apache rules, like how to do release with signing the artifacts, etc. So it's a bit more painful in terms of infrastructure, etc. So it's a bit more work on our side to ensure that we manage to make releases the way we want them to be released. But otherwise, it's a good move.
Given certain libraries such as Ratpack, it's very easy to, for example, create agile microservices with Groovy. The fact is that you can also create cleaner code with Groovy, given the fact that you have closures, which are a lot more powerful than the Java lambdas, and that you also got so much syntactic sugar, which a language like Java, which needs to maintain the backwards compatibility, just can't do. That's much of the gain, basically, the syntactic sugar. Yeah.
Oh, well, that was kind of a lack of functionality in Groovy to do remote shell communication with remote infrastructure. So that's why we created a new DSL called Sugar for helping out in managing your infrastructure, managing remote command execution, file copying, and this happens all easy with Sugar. Well, first of all, because of Groovy, because with the help of Groovy, we brought a nice DSL that makes writing remote shell scripts very easy and readable, which is much better code in general than pure shell scripting.
So over the past year, we've started using this technology called RX Groovy, or it's based on this pattern called reactive streams. And we chose it because reactive streams give you this very, very easy way to write asynchronous code, which is extraordinarily useful when you're trying to serve a lot of customers and provide fast responses to when they make requests. It also is very useful for having a common way to deal with data as it comes in from different sources. And I just love it so much.
It depends on the part where you are, because you can be developing the microservices, or you can be calling it. I prefer other kind of languages for the development of the microservices. I prefer Java, or basically a static language. I think it's better for them. But you can just using them, and for using them, I've discovered that Groovy and dynamic languages in general are really cool, because you can call them with some tricks. That's really cool and very fun to develop.
We've been using Ratpack at Smart Things for about 9 months in production. About the same time Ratpack went 1.0. So I'm talking a lot about our experience using Ratpack in production, and like in practice, what things you actually want to do how to organize your code when it gets beyond the trivial app, and how you actually work through some of the different monitoring and things like that you really want to do in Ratpack when you're doing production systems with it.
Okay, so today I'm going to talk about ASCII Doctor, which is an absolute great way to do your documentation. It brings a lot of powers, a lot of features, but the best thing is you can extend it, and I think Groovy is the perfect language to do this. So combining the power of ASCII Doctor with all the things you can do in Groovy, it just gives you almost unlimited possibilities for your documentation. And I think documentation is an important thing of every project, so go for it.
So I'm going to talk about the Groovy compiler, the internals of the compiler actually. So if you ever wondered how you can come from source files to compiled bytecode, if you wonder what is a parser, what is a bytecode generator, everything that is behind the scenes when you just use Groovy, it's something that would be of interest, because it's usually a topic interesting for just understanding the mechanics of the language. So I think, yeah, This is basically everything that you have to know if you're interested in compilers in general and maybe writing your own compiler.
I came here to the grids to talk about RabbitMQ and how you can transform your RabbitMQ installation into a WebSocket server with just very few lines of code, very little configuration. It's a very cool technology, and I think it's very little known and very underused. And I try to explain how you can develop a new service using this technology.
My talk was called Fluent SQL using Juke. Juke's a library for doing database operations. You can use it instead of an ORM like Hibernate or straight JDBC with strings. It lets you be type safe and just be a lot more specific about your database calls, so you can have more performant and sort of faster code than I think with Hibernate and things like that. It's really easy to use, and I think everyone should try it.